This is commentary on lesson 124 in the workbook for A Course in Miracles. Let me remember I am one with God. This is a very, very valuable lesson, and the practice in it is very, very important and has the ability to be entirely successful in moving us along in our progress of remembering who we are and in training our minds. And so the practice today calls for us to spend some time today to take a half an hour and work with this lesson. And so I strongly encourage you to do that. And its suggestion is to find a time when you know that you can really give this half hour without distractions. And so whenever you do that, let it be that time. And even if you didn't get to this lesson today, I suggest you do it at some other time because it's so very important and has the ability to really increase our learning here. Let's review a little bit where we're at and why this lesson comes up now and why we're ready for it. Let's go back to lesson 29 in the workbook, which was God is in everything I see. And where it says here, you will probably find this idea very difficult to grasp at this point. You may find it silly, irreverent, senseless, funny, and even objectionable. Certainly God is not in the table, for example, as you see it, or any object. Yet we emphasized yesterday that these things, table shares the purpose of the universe. And so what has happened for us in our practice now is that we've come to a point, and especially in this series of lessons, when we've learned how much forgiveness can change our sense of ourselves and everyone else in our lives and all of the happenings around you. What it's done is softened our hearts and it's opened our minds in a way that we're ready for this kind of lesson. And so, having taken those gains of learning how to forgive ourselves, and like yesterday's lesson, to have this attitude of gratitude, which is a reinforcement attitude of the truth of the Course, now we're ready to do a lesson like this. And so, the implication in this lesson is this central idea of oneness and timelessness, is that when we understand this idea, when we really understand that we're one with God and that we practice that idea for this half an hour and we hold on to it, we realize that the truth of that idea is something that we could experience right today. But if we didn't experience today, that the work we're doing with this lesson will one day come to fruition when we're ready for it. And the readiness is, again, this forgiving ourselves, changing our idea about who we think we are, what the world is for, what we're for. And so that softens our minds, it softens our hearts, and then we become ready to come back to the truth of who we are. We become ready to return to that God, to that love that we thought we left. And so practicing this idea is really, really important. So let's go through it with the ideas of oneness and timelessness and the idea about who we really are. So let me remember I'm one with God. Today we will again give thanks for our identity in God. Our home is safe, protection guaranteed in all we do, power and strength available to us in all our undertakings. We can fail in nothing. Everything we touch takes on a shining light that blesses and that heals. At one with God and with the universe, we go our way rejoicing with the thought that God Himself goes everywhere with us. How holy are our minds, and everything we see reflects the holiness within the mind at one with God and with itself. How easily do errors disappear and death give place to everlasting life. Our shining footprints point the way to truth, for God is our companion as we walk the world a little while, and those who come to follow us will recognize the way because the light we carry stays behind, yet still remains with us as we walk in. And so we understand that our experience in this lesson is an experience that we will share with everyone that's with us now, everyone that has been with us, and everyone that will be with us in the future. Because oneness means there is no time. We transcend time and we join that reality. And so by us doing this practice and realizing it for ourselves, it will be there as an example for everyone that we have ever had a relationship with and an experience with, everyone in the past and the future and everyone that exists now. It's in this recognition that God is our companion. That is where we exist. That is who we are. So, what we receive is our eternal gift to those who follow after and to those who went before or stayed with us a while. And God, who loves us with the equal love in which we were created, smiles on us and offers us the happiness we gave. Today we will not doubt his love for us, nor question his protection and his care. No meaningless anxieties can come between our faith and our awareness of his presence. And so when we practice today, when ideas of when our anxieties do come up, our doubts do come up, our fears, the problems that we see, we're going to let those just be and hang on to this idea of God's love for us and our protection and our care. That's the truth, not the anxieties, not the upsets. We are one with him today in recognition and remembrance. We feel him in our hearts. Our minds contain his thoughts. Our eyes behold his loveliness in all we look upon. Today we see only the loving and the lovable. And so again, this basic idea of perception, that perception starts with us, and from how we see ourselves is how we are going to see the world around us. And so when the change comes from inside ourselves, when we remember we're one with God, when we remember we are that love, then as we look out on the world, we'll still see the appearance of it is now, but we'll know that it's an appearance, that there is just God, that that's the only reality. There is just that love. So we see this love in the appearances of pain, and pain gives way to peace. We see it in the frantic, in the sad and distressed, the lonely and afraid, who are restored to tranquility and peace of mind in which they were created. And we see it in the dying and the dead as well, restoring them to life. All this we see because we saw it first within ourselves. No miracle can ever be denied to those who know that they are one with God. No thought of theirs but has the power to heal all forms of suffering in anyone in times gone by and times as yet to come, as easily as in the ones who walk beside us now. Their thoughts are timeless and apart from distance as apart from time. We join in this awareness as we say that we are one with God. For in these words we say as well that we are saved and healed, that we can save and heal accordingly. We have accepted and we now would give, for we would keep the gifts our Father gave. Today we would experience ourselves at one with him, so that the world may share our recognition of reality. In our experience, the world is free. As we deny our separation from our Father, it is healed along with us. And so this is the true joining in this oneness. We join with everybody. And this experience that we have is the experience that will be shared with everyone and will be a demonstration to everyone that the truth of love as our identity, our oneness with that that's the truth. And others will be able to share in that. Peace be to you today. Secure your peace by practicing awareness you are one with your Creator as He is with you. Sometime today, whenever it seems best, devote a half an hour to the thought you are one with God. This is our first attempt at an extended period for which we give no rules, no special words to guide your meditation. We will trust God's voice to speak as He sees fit, certain He will not fail. Abide with Him in this half hour. He will do the rest. And so in this gentleness that we are acquiring, our openness, a softness to ourselves, we realize that it does open us up, that we're able to let go of how we see ourselves and we see the world, and we're able to let God in at that time. And so we want to, in this period, we don't need any hanging on to special practices or words or rules. It's just this openness that we've let go, and now we're going to let God and have that experience. And that letting go is what we've accomplished, and it's our practice here. The quietness, the stillness of our minds that we have, and then we let God's voice speak to us to tell us this truth that we're one with God, that God is our companion. All right, so your benefit will not be less if you believe that nothing happens. You may not be ready to accept the gain today, yet sometime, somewhere, it will come to you, nor will you fail to recognize it when it dawns with certainty upon your mind. This half an hour will be framed in gold, with every minute like a diamond set around the mirror that this exercise will offer you, and you will see Christ's face upon it in the reflection of your own. So this is a really hopeful idea that even if we don't seem to experience the truth of this today, the truth of this in our awareness will come to us one day because we're doing this practice, which means this practice will be successful despite how we might see it happen. And it might happen for us, that experience might come to us. But if it doesn't, we just need to know that this practice is helping us to bring this awareness closer to us. Okay. So perhaps today, perhaps tomorrow, you will see your own transfiguration in the glass this holy half an hour will hold out to you to look upon yourself. When you are ready, you will find it there within your mind, waiting to be found. You will remember then the thought to which you gave this half an hour, thankfully aware that no time was ever better spent. And so this readiness that we have is part of this training of our mind, and this readiness comes along with us learning how to forgive ourselves, learning how to forgive everyone in our lives. This is the readiness, and when we softened our minds and heart in this way, then this idea will return to us and we'll realize we're one with God. Perhaps today, perhaps tomorrow, you will look into this glass and understand the sinless light you see belongs to you. The loveliness you look on is your own. Count this half hour as your gift to God in certainty that His return will be a sense of love you cannot understand, a joy too deep for you to comprehend, a sight too holy for the body's eyes to see. And yet you can be sure someday, perhaps today, perhaps tomorrow, you will understand and comprehend and see. So that's the longer practice period. And so for the shorter practice periods throughout the day, we will add further jewels to the golden frame that holds the mirror offered you today by hourly repeating to yourselves, "Let me remember I am one with God, at one with all my brothers and myself, in everlasting holiness and peace." Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.